Companies are making deals right and left this year, and the numbers prove it. Mergers and acquisition activity worldwide up 32%. Matt Toole, Director of Deals Intelligence at Thomson Reuters, joins me now after crunching the numbers for Q3. Good to see you here, Matt. So in terms of the deal volume and size, what are we seeing in terms of how big they are and how it's different from last year?
Yeah, we're seeing a pretty unprecedented look at the kind of the mega merger. So over 5 billion, over 10 billion. We're seeing levels not seen as a percentage of overall M&A since we began tracking mergers in 1980. So it's really very much on the high end, the big transformational, strategic, mega deals that are kind of across sectors and across regions.
And this is the best year so far since 2007, right?
Yes, we are tracking just 2% below 2007. So we're a couple more big deals away from kind of surpassing the all-time record, which we saw right before the financial crisis in 2007.
I hope that's not a bad sign.
There are some interesting signs that mergers actually kind of go in 7-year cycles. So if you look at 2000 to 2007, and then 2007 to 2015, that's very neat 7-year cycles where we saw a couple of the largest months of all time in that 2099 period, 2007, 2008, and we are now just kind of coming off of 2 of the biggest months ever in the second quarter of the year. So it's interesting to watch how the stock market volatility is playing in, the presidential election. They also coincide with the visit from the Pope. It's very interesting to watch how next quarter will shake out.
So in terms of what we've been seeing, energy obviously a huge sector where we've seen a lot of M&A activity. Do you expect that will continue now here in the next couple of months?
I think there's a lot of energy companies that are looking to see how the whole commodity story is going to play out, what they might need to do, conversations that they're having about where they might want to either move out of a business, kind of sell assets that are non-core, or do something really big and somewhat transformational. So I think energy, healthcare for sure, and energy kind of been going back and forth for the entire year as kind of the main drivers, oil and gas and pharma for sure. But we did see health insurance can really get into the mix at the beginning of the quarter here.
And this is all still part of Obamacare on the healthcare side?
There is a lot of discussion around the fact that the pharma companies are looking at a lot of the Obamacare kind of directives around prescription drugs, and certainly Hillary Clinton made some big news when she was talking about biotechs and what that might mean. But then from the health insurer side, we did see kind of 2 weeks of every insurer in the United States talking about potentially going after each other or vice versa. So I think there is now kind of after many years the view that Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act is here. And companies have to figure out how they're going to become profitable or stay profitable as it goes through.
What about valuations? How often are we seeing companies pay up for something they want?
One of the things, when you look at kind of the cycles, we are seeing the highest valuations on record, almost 15 times last 12 months EBITDA for companies across the world, and a little bit higher in the U.S. So that is one of the things we're watching because as valuations are creeping up, that's something that gets people a little bit nervous around kind of how much people might be overpaying for some of these assets.
And in terms of financing these deals, we know companies had a lot of cash on the balance sheets. We also know rates are incredibly low. So how are they getting done?
It's it's an amazing kind of group of kind of corporate finance activity, whether it be raising money in the equity markets where we're on track for the biggest year for follow-ons ever, or the debt markets have been so kind to many of the acquirers who are looking to make big moves. Kind of week after week after week, we've seen kind of multi-billion-dollar acquisition financing more towards the bond market than the syndicated loan market, and that's driving U.S. dollar investment grade to an all-time record. We're just about to go over $1 trillion for year to date, and we've never seen that level before. So, everyone expects the Fed to make a move very soon, but even that move is not going to be jarring to, kind of the overall look at kind of how deals are getting done.
So, if we continue at current pace, where would we end the year if we're already, looking at a number that might beat 2007?
Yeah, we're flirting with the, the over $4 trillion, and depending on, we have a big rumor in the market with InBev and SAB Miller. $100 billion will put us very well ahead of that, and then to see any follow-on activity. There's talk of disposals from that deal, and I think there's still kind of a lot to be done, as I said, in healthcare, in energy, tech, and some of that media space as well. We've been seeing some movement. So again, there's always a lot to kind of not really sure exactly what might happen, but the fourth quarter is looking particularly strong.
Matt Toole, great to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks. I'm Rhonda Schaffler for The Street.